In May of 2013, the world learned of the tragic death of 8-year-old Gabriel Fernandez. His passing brought to light a case of horrific child abuse that shocked the public conscience. The investigation identified the perpetrators as his mother, Pearl Fernandez, and her boyfriend, Isauro Aguirre. These individuals were found responsible for the systematic torture and eventual murder of the young boy. Give a like and subscribe. Leave a comment. Gabriel Fernandez's short life was marked by significant instability. He spent periods living with various relatives, including an uncle and his grandparents, seeking a stable environment. However, in 2012, a pivotal and ultimately fatal decision was made. Gabriel was returned to the custody of his mother, Pearl Fernandez. This return proved to be a tragic turning point in his life. Allegations surfaced that the primary reason for this change in custody was Pearl's desire to receive welfare benefits associated with Gabriel. Family members expressed significant concern regarding this decision. They cited Pearl's alleged history of drug abuse and neglect as reasons to fear for Gabriel's safety. Gabriel's grandfather testified that when he sought to maintain custody, deputies informed him his existing custody arrangement was not legally valid. This left Gabriel vulnerable to being placed back with his mother. After moving into his mother's house in Palmdale, California, months of horrifying abuse began. This period marked a descent into unimaginable suffering for the young boy. The abuse included severe beatings inflicted by Isauro Aguirre. It was alleged that Aguirre's motive for this violence stemmed from a belief that Gabriel was gay. Gabriel suffered a litany of severe injuries during this time. These included 12 broken ribs, numerous burn marks across his body, a fractured skull, and marks from BB gun pellets. The torture extended to forcing Gabriel to consume non-food items. He was reportedly made to eat cat litter and his own feces. His tormentors also subjected him to cruel confinement. Gabriel was allegedly forced to sleep bound and gagged inside a small cabinet. The horrific abuse culminated on May 22, 2013. On that day, Pearl Fernandez placed a 911 call reporting that Gabriel was not breathing. Emergency personnel arrived at the scene to find Gabriel in critical condition. He presented with extensive and severe injuries. Upon arrival at the hospital, Gabriel was immediately declared brain dead. The damage inflicted upon him was irreversible. 2 days later, on May 24, 2013, Gabriel was taken off life support. He succumbed to the injuries sustained from the prolonged abuse. Pearl Fernandez and Isauro Aguirre were apprehended swiftly. They were arrested just 1 day after the 911 call was made. Initially, Isauro Aguirre faced a charge of attempted murder. Pearl Fernandez was initially charged with felony child endangerment and abuse. However, the charges were escalated after Gabriel's death. Both individuals were subsequently charged with first-degree murder with the special circumstance of torture. The legal process for Isauro Aguirre proceeded to trial. He was found guilty by a jury in November 2017. Aguirre was convicted of first-degree murder. The jury also found true the special circumstance of torture, reflecting the nature of Gabriel's suffering. Following his conviction, Isauro Aguirre received the most severe sentence possible. He was sentenced to death for his crimes. Pearl Fernandez's case took a different path. She chose to plead guilty in February 2018. Pearl pleaded guilty to the charge of first-degree murder. This plea avoided a potentially lengthy trial for her. Pearl Fernandez was sentenced in June 2018. She received a sentence of life in prison without the possibility of parole. The case also brought scrutiny upon the child welfare system. 4 social workers involved in Gabriel's case were accused of failing in their duty to protect him. These social workers were charged with felony child abuse and falsifying public records. The charges alleged serious professional misconduct. Prosecutors contended that the social workers ignored clear evidence of abuse. They were also accused of falsifying reports to conceal their inaction. However, the charges against the social workers were later dismissed. An appellate panel made this ruling in January 2020. The panel's decision cited that the social workers could not control the parents' actions. They also noted the social workers did not have custody or care of Gabriel in a way that made them legally responsible for the direct abuse. the charges were officially dismissed by a judge in July 2020. This ruling concluded the criminal proceedings against the social workers. Following his sentencing, Isauro Aguirre was admitted to San Quentin State Prison in 2018. This facility houses California's death row inmates. As of May 2025, Aguirre remains incarcerated. His current location is California State Prison, Corcoran. He is still on death row in California. However, the state currently has a moratorium on capital punishment, meaning executions are not being carried out. As of May 2025, Gabriel Fernandez is serving her sentence. She is incarcerated at the Central California Women's Facility in Chowchilla, California. In April 2021, Gabriel Fernandez attempted to challenge her sentence. She filed a petition seeking resentencing based on changes to the state's penal code. Her petition for resentencing was subsequently denied. The ruling came down in June 2021. The judge presiding over the denial stated the reasons clearly. The judge noted that her guilty plea established intentional murder. Furthermore, the judge highlighted that the murder involved torture over a period of months. This fact was central to the denial. The judge ultimately ruled that Gabriel Fernandez was a major participant in the murder of a child victim. This determination solidified her sentence of life without parole. The case of Gabriel Fernandez remains a stark and painful reminder. It illustrates the devastating consequences of severe child abuse and neglect. The case highlights the critical importance of protecting vulnerable children. It underscores the need for vigilance and effective intervention by individuals and systems designed to safeguard them.